Are you ready to get your fantasy on? Here's Show Us Your TDs. It's grind time!
Let's go! I'm back, baby. It's your boy Goobie here. After partying all week, after destroying Melky, I'm back doing my thing. So welcome back to Show Us Your TDs. You know what time it is. I'm here with my boy Melk. How you doing?
Freak out. Look, freak. Says me. The Melk-Man is doing well because he is in a celebratory mood. Like a fat kid's conclusion to a diet, you'll find out shortly the results why. The sun is out, the birds are singing, Cowboys won. It's that type of feeling in Melky's world right now. So I'm doing very well. But Goobs, how are you holding up?
I'm doing all right. I'm chilling, just ready to get back into it. I mean, sorry again that I missed last week, but I'm here now, so let's get this party started.
Okay, well then let's not be a strip club tease anymore, and let's recap fantasy football, shall we?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so Goobs, since you won in fine form last week, I'm gonna let you start off because man, that was some kind of score. So take it away.
I mean, I don't know if it was fine form. I did all right. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa 39 points, CeeDee Lamb 16 points, DeAndre Hopkins 27 points, AJ Brown 36. Okay, I think you guys get the idea. I won 213.7. Yes, I want to put that 0.7 in there to 112.10.
Every point.
I destroyed my competition by over 100 points in a 1 QB league. That is really unheard of. Honestly, with Austin Eckler out, I did not see this coming. I thought this was going to be a close match. Melk, what did you think before anything happened?
I mean, you were set up to win because my boomer bust last week was Dante Foreman. So your team was set up to win. I mean, you had the 4-headed or 3.5-headed monster at wide receiver. But man, I'm watching your score, and Alan and I, we always follow everyone. We're watching, and your score just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And it's like Pollard touchdown, Foreman touchdown, Pollard touchdown, Foreman touchdown. When's the madness gonna stop? Like, fuck, man. Like, Tua throws for a touchdown. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that I think 95% of my players were playing at 1 o'clock, but I got a text message from the guy I was facing at 2 p.m. Just not even halftime, going, "Good game, you won," and at that point, you're like, okay, it's over. We got this in the bag.
Well, not only that, he made a stupid trade before the start of the games on Sunday, sending Waddle off for Jamal Williams and Adam Thielen. And he came to me first with a couple of trade scenarios, some big ones, some small ones, and I said, you know what? No, I'm not looking to I will give you he was looking for a running back.
Yeah,
I'll give you Zeke or I'll give you Najee. I'm not giving you CMC or Swift. I said the only way I'm doing that is if you give me Mahomes, and he shut that down quickly.
Yeah.
But for him to give up Waddle for those two, I just shook my head. And then Alan, when I saw it, Alan's like, "You better push approve right now." I'm like, "Oh, I'm approving it." I'm just shaking my head because I had a better offer too for Waddle, but he's desperate, and that's what you do when you are desperate. You make boneheaded decisions, right, Mike? So yeah, he basically shot himself in the foot.
A lot of people did.
He shot himself in the foot making that deal, and then you just destroyed him and destroyed his confidence.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta give it up to my big four that I've been talking about this whole season: CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Brown, and T. Higgins. that's a star-studded wide receiver core. So I mean, and you know what, I gotta give kudos to you for having Zeke Elliott and having him on your bench because he was out for the week and Pollard started and got me 33 points. So
Hey, if it was up to me, he would have played, but no, Zeke's a puss and had to sit out. Oh, we're gonna rest my bruised knee.
yeah, and
But
what a pickup by me with Evan Ingram too.
yeah, he's been a nice surprise. You know, Lawrence has been shitting the bed big time lately, but yeah, Evan Ingram's been a bright spot. Kirk, you just never fucking know anymore. Zay Jones, he's there, and then what's the other wide receiver's name? Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones Jr.
He's the
Yeah,
forgotten man. So
the
it's a
forgotten child.
yeah, it's a nightmare in Jacksonville right now. But they did make a great addition, and we'll tell you later on about it.
Yeah. So Melky, I mean, I won in fine fashion. How did you win?
Well, I didn't win as big as you, and it wasn't as fine fashion, but I still pulled out a nice win. I got
Nice.
I got my revenge on a Not a Bears lineup and ended up winning 135 to 112.3. Now the funny story is you guys all thought I made a huge mistake not starting Dak Prescott. But
Yep.
it was only 3 points. It was only 3 point difference between him and uh, Kirk Cousins. So, like Melky does when he celebrates, he's got his 3 stars of the week. Number 3, Terry McLaurin, 13.6 points. Taylor Heineke has been a godsend since he's been inserted into the lineup.
Yep.
You guys have a rapport, obviously, way better than Mr. Glass, aka Stupid Ass Wentz. I hope you continue to be the starter because you can finally see this offense operate the way it should. So kudos to you, McLaurin. Number 2, I just mentioned his name, one Kirk Cousins, 29.8 points. You're slinging it, bro. You were slinging it. I was worried for a bit because you were taking your sweet ass time, but that's just who you are. You are on island time, so thank you for those touchdowns. And the number 1 star of my week is Christian McCaffrey, CMC. He's back, Goobie. He's back. He's now acclimated in this offensive system, and he got me 38.6 points. He was rolling.
Yes, sir.
Save my bacon and my season.
I know you like to call people out. Is there anybody you want to call out?
Like on my team?
Yeah, on your team. Because I got one for my team.
Oh, I got Cortland Sutton for being a bum, but that's Russell Wilson's fault.
Yeah. And I got Daniel Carlson putting up 0 points.
So good.
Bastard.
So do you still believe Tucker is better than Carlson still?
I do. I
no,
do.
You don't. No, there's no fucking way. You put up a
Tucker is up 10 points. And the only reason is because Carlson had a bye week and Tucker hasn't had a bye week yet.
But didn't you say your argument was you went off of fantasy points? So theoretically, since Tucker has more fantasy points,
but he's up 1 game.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. By the end of the season, Carlson will have more points.
By the end of the season, you're going to be buying me a couple beers because we're betting on this. Oh, we already did, but now I'm adding stipulations. You're buying me some beers at the bar because it's absurd. You would say Carlson is better than Tucker, like in any capacity. You're wrong.
If Carlson had an offense that actually wanted to play the way they should be, Carlson would be a better kicker.
Yeah, well, it's a mess in Las Vegas, and I'm not talking about the strip club situation.
All right, Melk, tell me about your next week's matchup.
Well, yeah, it is week 9, and I'm actually. Wait a minute.
There's some news.
There's some big news.
There's been a trade
between
CD's nuts and Deflate This. Wait, that's me and you.
Shit, son, that really is. Damn, why don't you break it down for him?
All right, guys. I couldn't trust Tua Tagovailoa, even though he got me 39 points last week. I can't trust Matthew Stafford. So, I mean, I will say this. I kind of lose a little bit in this trade, but at the same time, I think it's beneficial for me. So I ended up trading AJ Brown and Matthew Stafford to Melky for I got Kirk Cousins and Terry McLaurin. And yes, I said I kind of lose a little bit in this situation, but at the same time, I think Kirk Cousins is probably the better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa, and I need that right now because that's where I was lacking. And yes, I gained Terry McLaurin, and obviously he's no AJ Brown, but like I already said, I had a 4-headed monster with AJ Brown in my lineup. I still have a 3-headed monster, and Terry McLaurin, he can end up being the 4th if Tyler Heineke can fucking pull one out of his ass and start getting this Washington team a win. Melky, what do you think of this trade?
I think you're dismissing the fact that Kirk Cousins has so much potential, especially from the news that happened a couple of days ago, and we're going to talk about that way later with the trade deadline. But he's poised to have a big season. He's already in the top 10 in quarterback quarterback categories. His team is great. They are an offensive team now with the new coach. So I think honestly that could be your wild card. Yeah, you gave up AJ Brown, but I think AJ Brown just had his best game last week, and I don't think he's going to amount to that again this season. He'll have some nice numbers, but he's not going to put up what he did last week. Terry McLaurin has been on fire the last few weeks with Taylor Heineke, like I alluded to. So you could actually run away with this trade having a new quarterback that's really good, that's putting up big time numbers, and having a safety blanket in Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. So, if you put it in percentage wise, I think it was a 60-40 trade. It could be a little bit higher for you, but like I said, I need a quarterback that I can fully trust, and Kirk Cousins is the one. So, I mean, yeah, we made a trade, we got it done, and that's the big news, folks.
Huge news. It's huge news. It's a union of rivals because we don't normally trade with each other because we're always competing. But he needed something, I needed something, and at the end of the day, it's a fair trade, and hopefully it benefits both of us to get in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Melk. Now that the news has broke, tell us about your next week.
That I will. Now that we've just shattered worlds with our breaking news, I am continuing the Revenge Tour and the Comeback Tour, and I'm playing Another Quan Bites the Dust. I really hope I dismantle her. She has injuries and has a few good players on bye. The projections look like, well, they're changing currently, but at the start of the day, it was 144.40 for me and 107.83 for her. Yeah, Goobs, I really need this win. I'll break down the matchups for you because, yeah, it's quite interesting what actually I'm going through right now and what she's going through. So at quarterback, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, you got AJ Brown now, so hopefully he pulls one out for you.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope he can ball out. But like I said, I don't think he's going to put up that 36 piece he did for you last week.
No.
So the quarterbacks, we got the old guys that are having shitty seasons. One Tom Brady and the other Aaron Rodgers, that fucking liar.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, Goobie's favorite wide receiver, versus Michael Pittman Jr., rookie standout Chris Olave, and he's probably going to get more playing time now that Michael Thomas is out for the season, most likely.
Yes,
and he's facing another rookie wideout in Drake London. So that should be a very interesting matchup. Now, Keenan Allen seemed to enjoy fucking me over big time. He's not completely over his hamstring injury, so he's probably not playing this week. So I've had to insert newly acquired Rondale Moore from Arizona. Had a hell of a week last week. And he's going up against Mecole Hardman from KC. Then we got DeAndre Swift. He'll be facing Travis Etienne. I've got Khalil Herbert, who he's killing it. He's killing it this year, and he's in the top. He's like ranked 56th in fantasy this season.
Jeez.
And he's a backup. And he'll be facing, Michael Carter from the Jets. I got skipping the tight ends. I got Dawson Knox. I brought him back to my team because I needed a tight end this week. And he'll be facing Dallas Goedert from the Eagles. Christian Kirk, Goobie's favorite wide receiver too. I'm just kidding. Against A.J. Dillon. We've got the kickers Tyler Bass and Ryan Suckup. And rounding off the defenses, Buffalo and Atlanta. So Goobs, realistically, I should kick her ass.
Yeah.
But you know how fantasy is. It never really works out the way you want. How do you think I'm going to do?
I think you'll do fine. I think you'll kick her ass. I mean, you're not going to put up a fucking 200 piece like me, but yeah, I think you got this in the bag. I do want to touch base with you. You said Drake London. We picked some terrible rookie wide receivers for our tic-tac-toe. You only have the 5 reception game in the first TD. So, I mean, you still need 1,000-yard season to get that win. But I don't think this is going to happen between me and you.
No, I don't think it's going to work out. I should have went with Chris Olave, but.
Oh, yeah. Well, you be running away with this one. But, yeah, I mean, Treylon Burks, he's been injured half the season anyway. So, yeah, I think you're gonna win this this matchup, and I mean she's dealing with injuries. The only thing that might bite you in the ass is Tom Brady.
I don't have a choice, and I'd rather start Tom Brady over Matthew Stafford.
I don't know. I mean, Stafford's came off a bye week. I think Stafford could actually do well, and I mean.
The game's in Tampa. They're playing each other. The game's in Tampa Bay. I think Brady, now that the divorce is actually official, like it's made news officially divorced.
Yeah.
His mind is going to be a lot clearer. He might be even more pissed off. Go on a Brady revenge tour. I'm hoping he just balls out. I don't need him to be crazy for the rest of the season. I just need him to get 30 points this week. 30 points. That's all I'm asking.
Maybe Brady will find himself a nice Florida girl and hook up with them before the game, and he'll have a nice game.
You can just go to the retirement home. There's tons of them waiting for Brady to swoop them up. Come on now.
All right. Let's talk my matchup. I'm facing Mike's team. I don't know why he just changed it to Mike's team. I know he doesn't have Dalvin Cook, but yeah, I guess Mike's team. So it's CD's Nuts versus Mike's team, and I'm predicted. And again, people, predictions don't mean shit, but I'm predicted 128 to 115. So it's already kind of looking good. The matchups are Kirk Cousins versus Kyler Murray. I think I'll give it up to Murray, but at the same time,
what? No way.
No way. Cousins not playing in Washington.
Yeah, I really like the matchup. I was actually wanting to hold off on that trade for a week if you were going to, but I figure you changed your mind way too much, so I had to.
I would have changed my mind because I was already hesitant because I'm like, man, the way Tua played, I was like, huh, I think I could just take it away with all this. I got DeAndre Hopkins versus Tyler Boyd. Now this could be rough because I don't think Higgins is ready for a number 1 spot, and yeah, probably Higgins is going to be double teamed, and that leaves a lot of room for Tyler Boyd. But then at the same time, if Boyd balls out the next week, I feel like he's going to be double teamed. So it's going to be a back and forth between Boyd and Higgins. We'll see what happens. I got Juju Smith versus DK Metcalf. I'm going to give this one to Juju, man. DK's not looking good at all.
What? DK's been pretty good the last couple of weeks. And that
last couple of weeks.
That fake shoulder pass that him and Gino had drawn up was a thing of perfection, where it looked like the ball was coming to him and actually allowed Walker to come in. He's a decoy too. I think Metcalf, he's getting healthier. That's the thing. And Gino's getting more
You,
confident.
you said the last couple of weeks. Well, he scored 14 points last week. Then he scored 1, and then he scored 4. So he hasn't done well last couple of weeks.
I'm still. I don't dismiss DK. He's a freak. Don't dismiss him.
Okay, I got the newly acquired Terry McLaurin going up against Dobbs. If Lazard plays, I don't feel like Dobbs is going to get the love that he did last week. Deontay Foreman versus Aaron Jones. Man, if Foreman puts up another display like he did, it's against Cincinnati. I think he could. I don't know if Chuba Hubbard is playing, but even if he does, I think Foreman showed enough to get the full start next week. Or this week, so I mean, let's look out for that. Austin Eckler's back in my lineup after a bye versus Huntley. We all know who we giving that up to.
Gee, I wonder who.
We got Evan Ingram versus T.J. Hawkinson. Now this one is gonna be different. Evan Ingram's been playing fantastic last couple of weeks, but Hawkinson's on a new team. He's in Minnesota. He's got Kirk Cousins throwing to him. I'm still going to give this to Evan Ingram. Hawkinson is in a new team, and it takes a week to get acclimated to your team.
It does, but Evan Ingram is not even on Hawkinson's planet. Hawkinson is a beast. And
he is a beast.
Arguably could be in the top 3 for tight ends. He's a great target and something Kirk Cousins has been missing since he's been in Minnesota. So I don't know. I might get, even though, yes, it's midweek, new team, I'd still probably give it to Hawk.
All right. I got T. Higgins in my flex versus Benjamin. Now, Benjamin balled out a couple weeks ago, putting up 21 points. Against Minnesota, he only put up 6.5. So I'm going to give this one to T. Higgins. They're playing Carolina, and I think not Kirk Cousins. I think Burrow is going to start playing like Patrick Mahomes and just kind of spreading out the ball between everybody. So I think Boyd and Higgins are going to get a lot of love. Melky's shaking his head no over there.
Oh, Burrow looked horrible in the Monday nighter against the Browns. He's lost without Chase. Chase makes a huge difference. Having that huge threat that Chase allows Boyd and T. Higgins to be free and run their routes and get the single coverage where everybody pays attention to Chase. He looked lost without him. Now maybe they practice better this week, and Burrow is like, okay, I have to know in my mindset that I don't have Chase. I need to be a little more assertive because he was horrible. Like, he was horrible. So I don't know, man. I feel like if anyone's gonna get the love and that's gonna maybe benefit, it'll be Boyd.
Yeah.
I think you said it. You said it like earlier. Higgins is most likely getting the double team.
Yeah, but like I said, I feel like that's gonna switch every week. When one player does well, he's gonna get double teamed, and then when the other player does well, they're gonna get double teamed. We'll see what happens. I mean, both put up pretty similar numbers last week. T. Higgins put up 12 points, and I think Boyd put up 11 points. Yeah, 11.3. So it could go either way. Daniel Carlson put up a goose egg last week. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. He's facing Evan McPherson. And then I got the Arizona defense because San Fran's on a bye. And he's got Minnesota's defense, which I think is going to do fantastic against Washington. But I hope not. Melk, 128 to 115. What do you think? What do you think about this matchup?
Mike has too many scrubs in his lineup right now, so you should win and continue your winning streak. Mm-hmm. The only saving grace for him is Baby Yoda. If Baby Yoda goes nuts and he puts up like 40, you might be in trouble.
But if
he doesn't have Chubb this week, right?
No Chubb, no Amari Cooper. He has Lazard on the bench. He has Darrell Henderson. Dallas defense
isn't even the number 1 anymore.
Yeah, I know. And Dallas defense, and then he has Robert Bateman, who is out for the season, I think.
Yeah, he's out for the season officially today. So he's got scrubs on. He's got scrubs in his lineup. You should dismantle him. Like I said, the only saving grace will be Baby Yoda.
Yeah. But the thing is, if Baby Yoda is his saving grace, who's he passing to normally? D. Hopkins.
Yeah, but Pete Carroll, and I'm actually going to talk about this on Boomer Bust, but Pete Carroll's got something special for Hop, so someone else is going to step up. Maybe Robbie Anderson, maybe Moore, maybe the run game snaps, and maybe Benjamin goes off for another like 20 or 25.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
You should win. I feel like you and I, this is probably the easiest matchups you and I have had so far.
Yeah.
In fantasy, and we should win, but you know how fantasy works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I was looking at Hopkins' first 2 games of the season. 14 targets, 13 targets, 10 receptions, and 12 receptions. This guy's a beast, and I think if Kyler Murray balls out, so will D. Hopkins.
Well,
but
we'll see.
But we'll see. We'll see. Like Melk said, it's fantasy. Anything can happen. But you know what can happen? The Eagles can stay perfect.
That's your transition.
Yeah, that was my transition because I really didn't know what to think of. Okay, that happened.
Say dreams come true or something. Blah blah blah. Oh my God.
I don't know, man. But guess what? The Eagles stay perfect. They beat the Steelers 35-13. Pretty much an ass whooping like I did to Melky and to my last opponent.
Old news.
Yeah, man. Jalen Hurts, 1928, 285 yards, 4 touchdowns. But the star of the show, A.J. Brown, 6 receptions, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. That dude went off.
Mm-hmm.
Melky, you got him on your team now. What do you think about this stud? Probably my favorite wide receiver in the NFL right now.
He's in top 5 country, definitely.
Top 3.
No, he's not. He's not a top 3. I can think of a bunch of other wide receivers I picked before him, but AJ Brown is a beast. I don't know why the Titans gave up on him. Made no sense. You could have built your team around him and Henry, but you elected to draft a rookie who hasn't played for most of the season. Yeah. Smart move, GM. Going back to AJ Brown, yeah, he's what more can you say, man? Those numbers speak for themselves. It speaks for itself. It speaks for I'm looking at him. 156 receiving yards, 3 TDs, 11 targets. Like, wow. Beast mode.
Yeah. He's on another planet. But yeah, like the Pittsburgh Steelers is just a dump.
I got a question for you though. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Are the Eagles the best team in the NFL? And don't go based on record. From what you see,
I'm thinking
the eye test. Are they the best team?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because they haven't played well, I guess they have played a top 5 defense in Dallas and destroyed them. So, I mean, yeah, I think they are. Melky, what do you think?
I'm going to give it up to Buffalo. I think Buffalo's better. I'm watching. Yes, you make a great point. I'm glad you said that. They haven't played a really strong team. They've had a scare. Like they had week 1, there was a scare and against Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's the one that fucked that up. That could have been an L right there. But they haven't played anyone up to their level. I think Buffalo has already proved they beat Green Bay, they beat KC, and there was a meme that said Josh Allen just beat the last 3 MVPs. So, yeah, Buffalo's on another planet right now. They're just really good from top to bottom, and they just improved even more so. Again, we're going to go over that. We keep bringing it up, but trade deadline was insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Melky, speaking of trade deadline, CMC.
Newly acquired CMC, while he's been with the team for 2 weeks, was a one-man show, Goobie. He helped pummel the Rams 31-14. And let me break it down for you. He did everything. He's the first player to throw for a touchdown, to run in for a touchdown, and to receive a touchdown. He had a 34-yard passing TD. Was it to Ayuk?
Yes. Yes, it
Right to
was.
Ayuk, and it was a perfect. Like maybe he should be the QB over a porn star Jimmy because he just looked way better. 94 rushing yards and a rushing TD, and 55 receiving yards with a receiving TD. Man, that's scary numbers. I think it's the return of CMC. So, Goobs, I got to ask you, with him contributing the way he did to this offense, are the 49ers the biggest threat to the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it. It was going to be Niners Eagles conference finals, and I had the Niners beating the Eagles. And yeah, I kind of still see it that way. Eagles and Niners defense are pretty much on the same level, and their offense right now with CMC is pretty much on the same level. I know Debo's out, so that could be a hindrance, but I mean he'll be coming back, so that's going to be a fantastic conference finals if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, there. I honestly think like everyone's talking about the Dallas defense and some of the surprise teams and possibly LA coming back, but what San Francisco has in like what they've acquired, what they put together, having Shanahan put this all together, I can't see any other team matching that offense and defense besides the Eagles. So yeah, those are probably the two best teams right now in the NFC. Like
Okay.
it's not even you can't even argue that.
Quick question for you then. Top 3 draft picks of next year, running back wise, as it stands.
I'm not going to put it in any order, but Eckler for
Yeah.
sure. It was Saquon Barkley for a while, but he's dipped the last few. That's tough, man. Henry looked great last week. Looked like the old Henry, but I don't know. He's getting older.
I'll tell you what the fantasy points are right now. It's Chubb,
CMC, yeah, Chubb. Sorry, Nick Chubb,
Chubb,
CMC, and Austin.
yeah,
Austin
that's
Eckler.
that's the way it's going right now. Chubb, Eckler, McCaffrey, and they're all really close. Chubb has it up by 10 points.
You know what I
So,
didn't realize? CMC's still only 26 years old.
oh, he's young. He's young, my friend. And he's got a lot. He's got a lot.
Got
So
a lot left in the tank. Like that was just we already know what he can be, right? Like he did a
yeah.
lot with the Panthers, but having him do all that last week, my jaw was just literally on the floor. It was phenomenal.
But yeah, he did fantastic. You know who did fantastic though? The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
The Dallas Cowboys. That's right.
them boys.
6-2, beating the Chicago Bears 49-29. All right. Now, Tony Pollard, the number 1 back for Dallas next year, and I'm calling it right here.
Oh, Zeke is getting cut, 100%.
14 carries, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he looked phenomenal. Those cuts were amazing. And I don't care if who you are. I don't care if you're a Dallas fan, if you're not. You're saying Pollard's the number 1 back. So,
Yes.
Melky. Yeah,
Mhm.
Melky, Cowboy fan. Tony Pollard, number 1 back. Yes, no.
He should be the number 1 back right now.
Yeah.
Not even going into next season. But Jerry is a stubborn fool, and he won't admit that Zeke is done. And Zeke can be like a serviceable back, but he does not have any explosion anymore. He looks like he's running in Cabo Sand still.
Yeah.
He just he jumped over that guy, but look, it got him an injury. He screwed up his knee. He's just not the same bell cow he used to be. And Pollard has springs, man. He's gone. Like you said, those cuts. I was like, geez, man, nobody's stopping him. Didn't he have like a 35-yard run or something like that?
Oh yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was huge. And I mean, like this guy is looking like the old school running backs back in the day, the ones that just were so agile and quickness. I'm talking like Adrian Peterson style. Like this dude is fantastic.
I wouldn't go
I'm
there.
not saying he's on that level. I'm just saying the way he plays looks like these guys.
He just has that energy. That he has that speed burst that Zeke doesn't have. Zeke looks like he's moving in slow motion. Where Pollard, as soon as he has the ball, he's gone. And
Yeah.
when you give him room, you don't even have to give him a ton of room. He's just gone. He makes it work. Zeke, he's a shell of himself. And honestly, yeah, I have Zeke on my team, but for the benefit of the Dallas Cowboys, I think Pollard should get more snaps and more looks over Zeke. Zeke is a great goal line running back. Like
Yeah.
he can pound it in, but it's got to be Pollard. You want to win around this season? Give it to Pollard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, Goobs.
All right.
Since would you say Pollard is a surprise?
Yep. Not surprised. I think we all knew that he had it in him. But I
Did you
mean,
think he had that in him?
no, I didn't think he had that in him.
Okay, so you didn't think he had that in him. We're moving on to the Seattle Seahawks beating the New York Football Giants 27-13. Did you believe that could happen?
No, because didn't I call the Giants winning?
Yeah, you did. That was your toonie bet. And wasn't it Kevin that said the Seahawks were going to have 1.5 wins this season?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, they have a lot more than that, and they lead the division. Geno Smith had 212 yards, 2 passing TDs, and 26 rushing yards, while Daniel Jones, I don't know how Daniel Jones has a job still. 176 yards, 6 rushing attempts, and 20 rushing yards. Now, this was awesome because it was the battle of the two power backs. Like Walker, holy crap, man. Walker is phenomenal, posting 51 rushing yards, a rushing TD, and I mean only one receiving yard, but he's just been a godsend. Like he's just been that icing on the cake that this team needed.
Yeah,
And
well, he is facing the Giants defense, which is really good. So, I mean, kudos for him for even putting up 50.
yeah, no, big time. And kudos to Pete Carroll for setting that up. And Saquon Barkley, his counterpart, had 53 rushing yards and a rushing TD and 9 receiving yards. Okay, so I already said the Giants are pretenders. I don't believe in them. I think they're the wackest 6-2 team that's out there. So I'm not going to talk about them. I want to focus on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Goobs, you know how loaded the NFC West was last year. This year, not so much. So the Seahawks lead the division. Are they going to win it?
That's a tough choice. The Niners are climbing. The Cardinals got Hopkins back. This may sound really fucking crazy, but I say it's Niners, Cards, Seahawks, and the Rams in last.
Wow. So I could see the Rams falling apart and conceding. I can't see the Cardinals. The way the Seahawks are playing, yeah, the Cardinals on paper are way better. Every team in the NFC West on paper is way better than what the Seahawks are. But sometimes when you don't have that selfish superstar like let's ride Russell Wilson, your team comes together and comes together big. And I think that's what Pete Carroll is proving, that he can do this without a superstar. Geno Smith, he should be in the conversation for MVP. If the Seahawks get into the playoffs, his name has to be in that category.
Yeah.
He won't win it. He won't win it, obviously, but you have to consider him for MVP. So I don't think they'll win the division. I do think they could get a wild card spot.
All right. I mean, I like it, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But
Okay.
sorry,
What?
I was gonna say, man, you're talking about Russell Wilson. I feel like that's like a really bad movie you could watch. Like, they could make a really sad movie. Like, oh man, fucking it's all like cheery at first. $250 million got Russell Wilson, and then this shit happens, and it just goes downhill. It's a really bad movie.
Well, that's what happens when you pay for someone who's overrated and basically falling off the face of the planet. Because what he did in Seattle last year, there were signs there that his play was dipping off.
Yeah.
And Denver's desperate because they drafted horrible quarterbacks. Because John Elway thinks he knows shit. And instead of really researching, like, they were better off going after Mustache Minshew.
Yeah. Or keeping Geno.
Or keeping Geno. Yeah, that's egg on their face. But yes, the NFC West is pretty exciting right now. We're going to move over to a division that's not so hot. It hasn't been all season with your AFC West bulletin. Dun, 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 dun. And for the most part, the standings haven't changed. And this was with two teams on a bye. The KC Chiefs still in first. And I was talking, who was I talking? Oh, I was talking to Ba earlier, and I'm conceding. I said the Chargers were going to win this division. I'm actually conceding that the Chargers look like poo. All hail the Chiefs. Mahomes, he runs that division. He's the best quarterback in the league, hands down.
Can I hear what I need to hear?
I told you so.
Goobie, you were right.
Goobie and Kevin, you both are right. So I'm going to give you guys that. And that's the only thing I'm giving you this season. So KC is 5-2. LA Chargers are 4-3. Both teams had a bye. The Denver Broncos switch one spot. They move up the ladder with a big win over the Jags, going 3-5. And last but not least, those horrible Las Vegas Raiders at 2-5. So, like I alluded to, Chiefs didn't play and the Chargers didn't play, but the Chiefs have a Sunday night matchup against the Titans, which should be a good one. And the Chargers fly over to Atlanta to host the Falcons. Now, going with the Broncos, they were in London on Sunday morning, and they won 21-17.
Lucky.
Yeah, and the game actually wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty exciting for once. Wilson had 252 yards, a passing TD, an INT, and 17 rushing yards. His counterpart, Lawrence, and he's falling apart. 133 yards, a touchdown, 2 INTs, and 15 rushing yards. So, Goobs, what did you think of the Broncos' victory?
It was a good game. They got lucky, I think. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but I know didn't Lawrence throw an INT near the end of the game?
Yep.
And kind of sealed it for them.
Yep.
I just think Lawrence doesn't have a true number one yet in a receiver. Christian Kirk is not a number one. I think he's
getting paid like a number one.
Yeah, I know. But I think, you know what, if they were to get a number one, that team could look good. Their defense is great. It's not great. It's decent. So I mean, like they have the tools there. Travis Etienne, oh my God, 24 carries, 156 yards, and a touchdown. Like this, that's their back now. Like they got that. They have a quarterback that can actually put up numbers. Again, I think they're just missing that number one wide receiver, and then they have a shot to making the playoffs.
And who called Etienne being a fucking gem?
We all did.
No. I called it first. I said, watch out for this guy. He was huge in college, blew out his ACL, and now he's back, and he's running amok. He's the bright spot on that team right now.
Yeah.
And going back to like the Broncos, I honestly think Russ is one of the most annoying players in the NFL right now. I can't stand him. Like, does he think he's cool? I don't think he's cool.
It's cringe. Every time he says it, it makes me cringe. Like, every interview he ends with Broncos country, let's ride. Like, why? I feel like he knows he's a meme now.
He is
And
a meme. He's a walking meme. It's not funny.
yeah, he's just using it at this point. But walking memes, okay. Las Vegas Raiders scored 0 points. I mean, my kicker did nothing. And they lost to the 3-5 New Orleans Saints, 24-0. Derek Carr, 101 yards, 1 INT, 15 out of 26. Come on, man. Like, come on. He got replaced. He got replaced for this Jarrett Stidham. I don't even know who that guy is.
No idea.
So if you're being replaced by someone who nobody knows, there's something wrong with that team. Andy Dalton, 229 yards, 2 TDs. Pretty good for Andy Dalton. I mean, he's getting older, so I'm not expecting much out of him. But I mean, pretty good. I mean, and Taysom Hill, 1 of 1, 2 yards. But he had 10 carries for 61 yards. And then he had 1 reception for 11 yards. Taysom Hill is like, it's hard to say, but I think he's a good tight end. I've seen him.
Should only be a tight end.
Yeah, the shit that he does, like they should never have had him as a quarterback and just put him as a tight end. And he's looking good. It's like Kamara killed it. Like
it was the Kamara show. It was the Kamara show on Sunday.
Do you think the Saints have a chance of making a wild card spot now?
I think they still do. It's pretty open. I mean, you're gonna need a few teams to start losing, and that NFC South division seems pretty wide open with Tampa sputtering right now and Atlanta the surprise. I think the Saints they can still catch some ground because you're playing those teams again.
Yeah.
So I think it's why that division's for grabs right now.
And I feel like the Panthers gave up, giving away CMC.
Yeah, I'm not including the Panthers. It's a 3-headed race. It's a 3-horse race in that division.
Yeah.
Right?
And Robbie Anderson. I forgot they got rid of him too.
Yeah, but he sucks. So whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the Saints can make this, make a run for the wild card.
Do you think Devontae is regretting signing with Las Vegas?
Yeah, I do now. I mean, I had them third in the division, but now no chance. I think he regrets it. I think he could have gone to a better team like Miami.
I don't think Miami was in the discussion. I think it was because I think the reason Vegas was so appealing was because of him and Carr. They went to college together.
Yeah,
that was the perk.
Yeah. We talked me and you trade. Well,
hold on.
Oh,
hold
all
on.
right.
You don't end a bulletin like that.
Okay. You end the bulletin.
Haven't you ever done a news report before?
No, not in a while. I skipped last week. You got to remember that. I'm a little rusty.
Well, I think going back to the Devontae question, yeah, he's definitely regretting it, and he had more money on the table in Green Bay, so sucks to be you. And that is your AFC West bulletin, dedicated to Kevin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so we did talk trades. Me and you did a trade. Let's talk NFL trade deadline, and I'm going to stick with the Broncos. I'm going to stick with Kevin. And Broncos trade linebacker Bradley Chubb and a 2025 fifth-round pick to Miami for a first-round pick, Chase Edmonds, and a 2024 fourth-round pick. I think that's a good trade. I mean, the Broncos don't get much out of it, but I think Miami gets quite a bit.
Not to mention, Chubb just signed an extension early, like a few hours ago. So not only did they get a stud pass rusher, he's now making some serious coin, and he's going to be there for the long run. So Miami is scoring and doing things properly, and they're just improving that team. They're going for it this year.
Yeah. All right, Melk.
All right, so we're gonna head over to Buffalo, and the Bills had a bunch of rumors going around to acquire a big time running back. Unfortunately, they have to settle for Nakeem Hines. Now, Nakeem Hines isn't a terrible back. I think he'll complement Singletary very well, but it wasn't the big fish they were looking for, like CMC. So they'll send over to the Colts a conditional fifth round pick and Zach Moss. Goobs, what do you think of the trade?
They should call Dallas for Zeke.
Jerry Jones ain't giving Zeke away.
I mean, this is just in the end, it's a 1-for-1. I mean, Naheem Hines, yeah, he's good. I don't think he's number one. And I mean, the Colts aren't really getting much backup, but they have Jonathan Taylor. I know he's been underperforming, but yeah, I think it's a 1-for-1. It's nothing. It's nothing huge.
I don't even think it's a 1-for-1. I think Zach Moss was just a toss-in. I
Yeah.
honestly think they were gonna cut him, and they asked, "Hey Colts, do you want to take Zach Moss off our hands?" Yeah, sure, why not? Okay.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, Atlanta trades wide receiver Chase Claypool to the Bears.
Do you mean Pittsburgh?
Wait,
You
sorry.
said Atlanta.
Wow, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I wrote that down wrong. Pittsburgh trades wide receiver Chase Claypool to the Bears for a 2023 second round pick. Now, I don't want to get too much into this because of Boomer Bust. So, Melky, take it away with our next trade.
Going to Minnesota, and we brought this up earlier, and it's a big one. Probably, in my opinion, the biggest trade of the day. We're going TJ Hawkinson going to Minnesota from Detroit, and 2 fourth-round picks in 2023 and 2024 for a 2023 second-round pick and a 2024 third-round pick. This is a division trade within the division. I don't think that's happened in a very long time, but that's a monster of a trade for Minnesota.
Yeah, I agree. And I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. Hawkinson will be a fantastic player for this offense in the Vikings. Now, this is where I think is, I wouldn't say it's one of the best trades, but it could be a huge trade. Atlanta trades wide receiver Calvin Ridley to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 2023 conditional fifth round pick and a 2024 conditional second round pick. Is this the wide receiver one Jacksonville's been looking for?
I think so. I mean, Ridley, when he was one of the best wide receivers in the game. He was super fast and he had great hands, ran great routes. So this will push Christian Kirk down to the number 2 spot where he belongs, and now they have a true number 1 for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and like I was talking about earlier, they needed a number 1, and I think they got it. Melky, next on the docket.
Going back to Miami, and they weren't done making deals. They acquired the services of Jeff Wilson Jr., Goobie's favorite running back, for a 2023 fifth round pick. What do you think, Goobs?
I think it's a fantastic deal. It's a good second string back, and it could be a back by committee down in Miami with Wilson Jr. and Mozart. So, and Wilson Jr. showed a lot of potential, while what's his face was Eli Mitchell was on IR. So, yeah, I think it was a fantastic pickup for Miami. We're gonna go to my second favorite team, Jets, Jets, and Jets trade defensive end Jacob Martin and a 2024 fifth round pick to the Broncos for a 2024 fourth round pick. I really don't understand these types of trades because, I mean, like, honestly, I don't even think I know who Jacob Martin is. And they're trading for a 2024 pick. So, I mean, good for them.
Yeah, I have no comment. It's like, sure, you traded away a stud for someone mediocre. So, hey, solid.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to Pittsburgh. And they weren't done wheeling and dealing. They acquired the services of cornerback William Jackson III from the Commandos for a undisclosed draft compensation.
Yeah. What I've read, it's a third round and a 2025 conditional sixth round. I'm not exactly sure if that's what they what their deal is, but we'll find out in the coming future. Chiefs trade cornerback Rashad Fenton to Atlanta for a conditional seventh round pick. Again, I mean, once you're getting down to the nitty gritty of like the lower end of the trades, they're kind of like whatever trades. We don't know if it's a good one or not a good one. So Rashad Fenton, do you know who he is? Because I don't.
No, it's just pieces basically when it comes down to it, because they weren't done Atlanta. They went and traded Dean Marlowe to the Bills, who's a safety, and they acquired a seventh round pick. So I think that's why they did it. They got a corner, which maybe they needed more, and they sent off a safety.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the top 10 trades of the trade deadline, guys. I mean, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones, and there's some ones that we just don't know if they're going to be good or bad. So,
well, before we move on, what trade did you like the most, and which team are you disappointed that didn't make a move at the deadline?
Dallas.
Yeah,
they should have traded Zeke.
No, not even that. They should have traded for Brandon Cooks.
Oh, Brandon Cooks. So, and I called that. I think I called that at the beginning of the year on this podcast.
You didn't. You said they should trade Zeke for Cooks. That's what you said.
Yeah, and draft picks.
Well, yes, but you said the centerpieces should be Zeke and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, and I think like Cooks would be a fantastic acquisition for Dallas. Him, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. That's a wide receiver core, and that would do great for Dallas. But Calvin Ridley is probably my favorite trade. I know he's not playing this year, but I think that's my favorite trade. Jacksonville is going to do well with him.
Yeah, it's a great future trade for them, and he's still 27 years old. I like the Vikings trade, loading up, adding another weapon. Now that you don't have to fully require Thielen to be the old Thielen. You have now Hawkinson, who can handle the number 2 duties with obviously Jefferson.
Yeah.
And with Osborne, like, it's a great mix of talent for Kirk Cousins. So there's no excuse for him to fail or to be the Kirk Cousins of old. He's got a team in front of him, an offensive juggernaut. So he better step up.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's that time, Goobie.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
our second favorite segment. Probably yours when you're in the John, because it's time for Boom or Bust.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
And I'm going to lead this off because I have a few things to say. And we're going to go over to Baltimore with Kenyon Drake.
Oof.
Goobs, he's a bust.
Yep.
62 rushing yards last week, 5 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown. Yeah, that's fine. You did that with Gus Edwards going down. But guess what? He's not as hurt as you think he is. He might be back, actually playing this week. So if that does happen, Drake's value goes down into the toilets, and he's going to be a bust. So he's risky. Yes, Lamar needs all the help he can get. But at the same time, I feel like Drake, when you need him, when you have to rely on him, he sucks hairy balls. So I wouldn't trust him. Last week was a fluke. He's a bust in my book.
He's a huge bust. He's not a number 1. He's an okay number 2. He can't carry a team like CMC, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler. He's not one of those guys. So yeah, he's a bust. I'm gonna take it with the reason why I said let's not talk about Chase Claypool, because he's in my boomer bust, and I'm gonna I'm going to take it away. Chase Claypool, after being traded to the Bears offense, look to see Claypool's targets go up. Now, I'm going to call him a bust this week for a few reasons. He's new to the offense, and he's playing a great Miami's defense. But for the future, I'd say he could become a decent wide receiver 3 in the coming weeks. So if he's on the wire, pick him up, because you know what? I'll say he'll flourish in this defense or this offense, but again, I don't think he's a top 2 or 1 wide receiver for fantasy. If you're playing a 3 wide receiver league, put him in your 3 spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. He's only a bust because of the trade happening midweek.
Yep.
He's got to, get used to this the system. Justin Fields is actually playing better as of late, so that could be a nice matchup there, a matchup in heaven. And have him lined up with Mooney. The run game is really good, so I think it's bright. The future looks a little brighter, sorry, in Chicago. Not too bright because they still suck. Suck. But yeah, I wouldn't trust him this week. But yeah, going forward, like you alluded to, if he's somehow on the wire, go grab him because he could be great in a flex spot.
Yeah, I'm actually upset I dropped him.
Well, I drafted him first, but it was crowded in Pittsburgh, and he wasn't being used. And Trubinsky is flaming garbage, and Pickett's a rookie, and he's not that much better right now. So I didn't need him. I had better receivers, so whatever. He can be Kevin's problem. All right, next. Got my wire pickup for this week. Rondale Moore.
Ooh.
He's a bust. Yes, he had a career stats last week with 12 rushing yards, 92 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown. But I think that's all you're going to get from him going forward. Pete Carroll's going to scheme. Pete Carroll's going to actually have some sort of coverage for him. Yes, Hop is the main guy, but I think Rondale, if you look at his past, this was like a phenomenon. I don't think he's going to do it again.
Something of a phenomenon. Sorry.
Solid song. We love LL. I just don't think it's going to happen again. He might be serviceable until Anderson fully gets acclimated in this offense. So I am only starting him because I have a lot of injuries and buys. But if you could avoid him, I would. I think he is a bust this week.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. Big old bust.
Would you say like a bust in your face, like one of those bukkake busts?
No, because I mean, some people like
that's a big old mess, man.
Yeah, some people like those messes though. We don't like this mess because he's a bust. All right, I'm gonna stick with the Chicago Bears, and I'm going Justin Fields. Justin Fields has put up great numbers in the past 2 weeks and has put up decent numbers in the past 4. That being said, he's playing in arguably a top 10 defense in Miami. So I'm going to call him a bust. This week, I think he'll put up around 15 points, but the future looks bright, and he should be picked up in almost all 12-man leagues. Not 10, because you can find better in a 10-man league, but in 12-man leagues, Justin Fields could be your answer. With Chase Claypool, and who else do they have? I don't even know.
They have Mooney. They have Clement, the tight end.
Oh, yeah, Corey Clement. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think in 12-man leagues, this guy could become a decent starter. But yeah, this week, 15 points, I'm going to say. Like I said, Chase Claypool just coming to this offense, so not a lot of looks for him. But yeah, I think he's going to be a bust this week. But going forward after that, the future's looking brighter.
This is where I disagree with you. I think he's a boom. Ooh. He's gaining confidence. And you know what? Yeah, Claypool might not know the offense right off the bat, but just having him in the lineup as a decoy could actually do service for Justin Fields and the rest of the Chicago Bears. Now, will they win? Probably not, because it's the Bears. But I think going forward, like Fields is actually looking like a pick that the Jets should have made instead of the MILF Hunter or even San Francisco. Shame on both of you, because Fields always had more talent than those quarterbacks, and you skipped on him. So that's gonna bite you in the ass. It's unfortunate Fields is in Chicago because there's nothing there, but I think things are trending in the right way. So you got Mooney and Claypool, Komet, that two-headed running attack in Montgomery and Herbert. That's something fierce. So I think his numbers are going to steady increase, and I actually think he's going to put up like 25 points. Miami hasn't fared too well lately. If you look at some of the games, it's been shootouts. So this could bode well for Justin Fields. He's a boom this week.
Wait for the I told you so segment.
Bring it.
All right, everybody. You guys know how we end the episode. We end with Toonie Bets. And I think I want to take this one because I got a really big bold prediction this week, and I'm going Titans over Chiefs. Yeah. You know what? Titans defense is pretty good. The Chief offense is also pretty good, but I think this could come down to a field goal. Yes, I'm going to say it's a close game, and I think the Titans are going to take it, and I think Derrick Henry runs amok on the Chiefs defense.
You're going to be eating your words. It's in KC. It's my homeboy coming off a bye. Henry is not going to have the game he had last week. No.
37 points.
Nope, not even close. He'll get 20, 25 maybe. 20 to 25, respectable, but he's not going off the way he did last week. I'll double down on your bet.
All right.
That the Chiefs dismantle them, because that's what's going to happen.
You've lost both double downs, by the way.
Yeah, but you know what? Third time's a charm, buddy.
All right, Melk, Toonie Bet, what do you got?
Well, Goobs likes to live on the edge, so I thought, you know what? That sounds pretty. That looks like it's a lot of fun. I'm going to do the same thing this week. Now, I told you in the chat I had LA over Atlanta, but I'm flipping the script, and I'm going Atlanta to beat the Chargers. LA's a big mess right now. The wide receivers are hurt. Even Palmer's a little nicked up. Your boy Eckler is always banged up. Is he going to do the whole? Is he going to score every fucking touchdown on Sunday?
I hope so.
Well, you hope so for fantasy reasons, but I don't think so. He's not going to be a one-man wrecking crew. Atlanta's on fire right now. They've looked really good the last 2 games, 3 games even. Mariota looks like he's better than Crab Legs, which is pretty crazy because Jameis was the consensus better quarterback out of the 2. Like even last week, he had 253 yards, 3 TDs, and 43 rushing yards. He actually has 10 touchdowns for the season and 3 rushing touchdowns for himself. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. So I like how Atlanta's playing. I like how they're just putting it all out on the field. So look for, I don't even know if you consider it an upset because of how banged up LA is, but look for Atlanta to win this week at home.
All right. I kind of like it after your little discussion there. I was trying to see if I actually picked them, but my thing's not working. So I will get back to you on that. Let's go with Boss Toonie Bet, the creator of this episode, and hear what he has to say.
Segment. He didn't create this episode.
Or segment.
Hello there, boys. Here for another week of Toonie Bets. Excited to finally be back and remembering where I am because I've been on a complete bender since dominating Dallas in that game. Should we talk about that again? No. Let's move on. I'm here for Toonie Bets, and for my bet this week, I'm going Seattle versus Arizona in Arizona. And folks, guess what? I got Seattle winning. That's right. Geno Smith, who has a 72.7% completion rating and a 107.2 pass rating to lead the NFL, well, he's going to lead the Seahawks against Arizona. The Seahawks are 7-1-1 against Seattle in the last 9 games, including 3 weeks ago, kicking their ass 19-9. I know. How's that kicking their ass? Still, I've got them winning it. And you know what? Even though Hopkins is back, I think Carroll's going to plan for that. And who else do they have? Robbie Anderson? Yeah, okay. Seattle, easy win. Can't wait to hear yours. Peace, boys.
All right. I kind of disagree, but
I don't. I like Seattle.
I picked him in my pro picks. Damn it. But no,
Carroll's a mastermind, and he's got something up his sleeve.
I'm sure he does. But yeah, so that's Toonie Bets, guys. Melky, what do you got for us?
Well, the final whistle has blown this week. Goobs, thank you for riding the pine with me. Did I not give my? I did give my Toonie Bet, right?
You did.
Oh, my bad. Let's start that again. The final whistle has blown. Thank you, Goobs, for riding the pine with me once again. Dude, can you believe that it's the halfway point of the season?
Fuck. It's been exciting and it's been crazy.
We're in week 9. That it's been nuts. Is there anything you want to add before we shut this thing down?
No, I just want to say thank you to you for doing this with me, and thank you NA30 for letting us shoot the shit.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback off that. Thank you, El Jefe, NA30, Mustard. Go check out the latest episode featuring your boy Goobie, myself, Calf, and Ba. It's titled Air Dud because we watched a freaking dud. Sports for You podcast, thank you so much for supporting us, and find them on Townhouse Media. And most importantly, thank you for supporting this podcast. Anything else, Goobs?
No, man, that's it. Like
Right.
like Melk said though, check out Mustard. It's all about me. That was the trivia. Let's go.
Well, you just heard him. Goobie and I are going to take a page from the Detroit Lions defense and disappear.
Ooh, I like that. Have a good night, folks.